I'm sorry, I'm so sick of this. For pity's sake, that little Nipponese oddity already admitted it himself, didn't he?
If he said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, why, it can only have been the victim. Why would he admit that? The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop, not in winter. So the poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? How dreadful! That was nothing.
I really don't care. Can we just wrap this up now? I've got work to be doing. You need to go to not here. You need to go home, go to work. We gotta get a new juror. You're biased. Your books. Yes, a nice shop, that. But bourbon books? No, not worth a visit. Thank you, Santa number 2. Why do you sound so much like me, juror number 6? With only minor exceptions. You can't. The reasons for finding the defendant guilty are all too clear. When the stabbing occurred, the only 2 people at the scene were the victim and the accused. And the accused himself has admitted to seeing the victim in a green overcoat sink to the ground before his eyes. For some reason he told us that, but he didn't tell us that he killed her. Like, why would he, if he was trying to cover it up, why would he not just tell you that he murdered her? Because he didn't. Like... Furthermore, we have heard from the inspector that the defendant then fled the scene. He was scared, like a little baby. I must say, I would have ample grounds to convict this man already. There's literally nothing.
Oh dear, even the judge appears convinced of Mr. Natsumi's guilt now.
Oh, why did he have to run away like that? And how are we supposed to believe in some phantom attacker that nobody could see? This is impossible. How can I possibly make a case for the defense?
Mr. Naruhodo, this is no time for grumbling. If we want to force the trial to continue...
Yes, I know. I have to turn the tide. Stop interrupting her. I must make the jurors change their minds. Well, 4 of them at least.
Exactly. We have no choice but to forge forward. Forge forward.
Got a little stutter today. You have the floor, counsel. Begin your summation examination. Yes, my lord. Gotta do the slap, of course. I just need to keep this trial going somehow. Whatever it takes. Come on, Ryunosuke, you can do it. I love his little pep talks. Alrighty, judicial jury examination. Defense's rebuttal. It's funny, the only one you have to press is his. Which is funny because his is the least important. A man's life is on the line here, sir. This will take as long as it takes. Really, they should pay him for being here. Don't get clever with me now, son. My life's on the line too, and so's my family's. Ah. The likes of you wouldn't understand, but a laborer like me can't afford to take time off. If I don't work, I don't eat. And neither do the wife and kids. Yikes. Oh, I see. That must be very hard. I go to the union every morning to find out what needs doing. Even if you're late and the work's taken, it's tough. This time of year, there's water and gas supply pipes busting left, right, and center. They're after cheap labor to get the roads dug up to fix it. It's a hard slog from dawn to till dusk it is. So, you out digging up the roads on the day of the incident as well, were you? That's right. In fact, if I remember rightly, it was just round the corner from where it all happened. By that old bookshop it was. What? Another coincidence? I know, right? That's right, Mersham Street it was. Mersham Street?
On the map, Mr. Naruhodo, there are only 3 named streets.
Juror number 5, I need you to add that information to your formal statement, please. What's the point in that? Can't we just get this business over with now? Please, sir, it's important. Duh, fine, I'll do it then. Okay. On the day it happened, I was digging up Mersham Street from dawn until dusk. So if we take a look at this map, you can see that the street he would have had to take would have had road work ahead. Yeah, I sure hope it does, but guess what? It doesn't. It's closed. You would have had to go the long way. Even though for some reason he did admit to seeing it happen. Which is odd. So, he says that. Yeah, he had to.
Objection.
Those two statements are clearly at odds with one another.
At odds, Counsel. Explain yourself.
Please, don't point. It wasn't me, I swear.
What? I just wanted to get this done and dusted.
Well, juror number 3. Oh, me, sir? What do you want? What do you mean? What do you want?
Juror number 5's words just now are extremely significant. Let's take a moment to consider the implications of what's been said on our map of the local area. On the day in question, Mr. Natsumi visited this bookshop to purchase a number of second-hand books. And on the same day, we now know that there were works being carried out on Mersham Street, making it impassable. Which means that the defendant's route home could not have taken him along Mersham Street and down Briar Road.
Oh, yes, of course. What do you think, sir?
Well, yes, you can't argue with that, really, can you? We must have had a good 2 yards or more of the pavement up. Every gentleman and gentlewoman that came along had to turn back and go the other way. So the only conclusion is this. The defendant must have taken the longer route back to his lodgings.
Yes, I suppose he must have.
I suppose that must be right, eh? Juror number 3, you said the following. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop. But we see now that he had no choice.
Yes. My lord, Mr. Judge, sir, if I may.
Yes.
I don't think in all good conscience I can say the man's guilty now. Yes, I'd like to see this trial continue so we can get to the bottom of what really happened.
Let's go!
Let's go! What about you, sir?
Oh, me? He's not gonna want to. Well, alright then. If there's a hole in the prosecution's argument, it should be filled in. That's what I say. But your wife and kids are starving.
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruto. That was wonderful.
Well, we've managed to change a couple of minds at least. It's strengthened our position somewhat.
Yes, and it will prompt the other members of the jury to reconsider their stance as well. They'll be asking themselves if their current leanings are really right or not. Now, if we could just identify one more clue or discrepancy that would make them stop doubting Mr. Natsumi, we might be able to tip the balance completely.
Yes, that's exactly what we've got to do. And Zieks is looking to bring this trial to an early conclusion. That's what we have to prevent by whatever means we have at our disposal. Thank you for showing him. We needed to see that he was taking a nap while he waited on us to get done. Okay, no. Here's the thing. I'm interested to see one of my people, my friends, my companions' reaction to The Greatest Attorney. So whenever I've uploaded one, I've watched it with them, which is weird for having to watch me, but it's fun to see his reaction. He says that he believes that Van Zieks sleeps with one of those pillows that has like the arm. I'll put a picture up of one, but yeah, he thinks that Van Zieks sleeps with one of those. Because he's just a pitiful, lonely loser. He called him a nerd as well, which is really funny.
Thank you, Counsel. On with the examination, please.
Yes, my lord. We're supposed to press this too, apparently.
Hold it.
Hold it.
Sorry. Fold it, you say? Fold what?
No. What I said was hold it. What I wanted to ask was, do you visit your books often?
I like the old books they have in there, yes. I enjoy reading them over a nice cup of old tea. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about.
And at what time did you visit your books on the day in question?
Well, I was picking out books in there all afternoon, and it would have been just before 5 that I left.
Same time. And ladies and gents, and, others. I need to come up with a better phrase for that. Ladies and gentlefolk. I'm calling out the ladies in specific. Okay. I read that one. Just before 5, you say? Exactly when the victim was attacked. Are you sure about the time?
Oh yes, no mistake there. I remember it well.
It's so jarring to me that they have the same voice, but I think it's funny.
I'm not about to forget that day in a hurry. Not after the dreadful time I had.
Oh no. Dreadful time? Also, why does he look like a Smurf? Oh, he looks like a white Smurf. What do you mean?
Well, I was walking down Calabash Road when I slipped on the ice and donked my head.
That's peculiar.
It's always worse after the snow stopped falling. That's when it's most slippery.
Is it? I don't know. I've never lived somewhere that it snows.
Knocked myself clean out, I did. Oh no. I really thought my number was up.
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. You had a severe accident yesterday, and you're expected to come in for jury duty. This happened on Calabash Road.
That's right. I live in Cornpipe, you see. Heading down Calabash Road is the quickest way for me to get back from your books.
Juror number 6, I must insist that you add that information to your formal statement. It may very well be extremely significant. Yeah, Natsumi could have seen him.
Sorry. Extremely sick? No, I'm quite alright now.
You've changed 2 of the jurors' minds, Mr. Naruto.
Yes, just 2 more to go.
Deliver the finishing blow now. It's time to turn the tables here.
Wish I knew how to do a Sasato takedown. I suppose words will have to suffice for now. I wish Sasato would have delivered on that takedown that she promised, Van Zieks. I mean, he threatened to murder Sholmes. Okay. The woman in green. But what if it was the man in green?
Objection.
Those 2 statements clearly show a flaw in the juror's reasoning.
A flaw? What are you talking about, counsel?
Well, juror number 2, juror number 6. How are they supposed to know?
My, whatever do you mean, sir? I think perhaps the old man didn't hear you.
Unbelievable. It's not like I was loud or anything. He can't help it. Damn. There's at least one fact of which we can be sure here. The bookshop receipt found in the defendant's room clearly indicates that on the day of the attack, he had been to your books and purchased a number of second-hand titles. He then returned home on foot.
But the man says he has no recollection of his return journey.
That's correct. But what he does remember, seeing someone appear in front of him on the way. Someone in a green overcoat who suddenly collapsed on the pavement before his eyes. Did he see the knife, though? Because I'm pretty sure he said that he did see the knife.
Yes, we are well aware of this. The poor young woman who was stabbed, obviously.
Objection.
Can we really be sure of that, madam?
My, whatever do you mean?
I'm sure you heard juror number 6's account of what happened to him that day. That same afternoon, there was somebody else apart from the victim, who was wearing a green overcoat because we all wear the same outfit every single day, and who fell over on the icy streets in the neighborhood.
Oh my!
My goodness, you mean? That's right. I'm referring, of course, to hard of hearing juror number 6. Why does it matter that he's hard of hearing?
Are you really suggesting? The person in the green overcoat whom the defendant saw collapse in front of his eyes was the jolly old gentleman on the end of the bench here with me today?
That is entirely possible, yes. After all, the old man can't hear very well. Okay, has a somewhat similar build to the victim. Well, look at that. My goodness me!
Sorry, you need a pee? Judge, can we take a recess to go to the facilities? Well, I suppose we can.
It's so hard to tell them apart. It's impossible. They're the same voice. Oh my god. And crucially, we know precisely where the old man in the green overcoat fell.
On Cannabis Road.
Therefore, if the person who Mr. Natsumi saw collapsing in front of him was in fact juror number 6, it means the defendant must have taken the long route back to his lodgings. And if that's true, then clearly the crime scene on Briar Road where the woman was stabbed was not on his way home.
Oh my!
It's huge. You idiot old man, if you hadn't been so daft as to be roaming about there, we'd have boxed this off hours ago.
What? He was walking. It was his route to get home. What are you on? And really, what were you thinking wearing such a befuddling coat?
What do you say to me? Is it a crime for the elderly to walk the streets these days? Is it a crime to slip over the ice? Is it a crime to keep up with the latest styles and wear a beautiful green overcoat, is it?
Oh, I love him.
Huh? Oh, are you changing your verdict? Are you changing your verdict? My lord, I do hope it won't cause any inconvenience, but...
You'd like to change your leaning, I presume?
I do declare that I would. I should like to call for a verdict of not guilty.
Thank you.
And I would too.
Thank you. Santa Judge? Santa Judge, really? What?
Is it a crime to change your mind, is it? Well...
Oh, okay. We did it. Wait, did we? No, okay. Yeah, we did it. Let's go. Pog. Pog. We get to have the trial now.
Well, that summation examination has concluded, with a rather large shift in opinion, again. The ayes 2, the nays 4. So the noes have it. Not guilty, they say. Which means we no longer have a consensus among the members of the jury. Which we didn't even if one person said it, but oh well, the trial will continue.
Objection.
Really? Watch. No liquid. It touched his lip. Could it seem churlish?
Churlish.
It is churlish. Okay, whoops. Could it seem churlish? Churlish? I read ahead to chalice. Could it seem churlish of me to drink from my hallowed chalice moments after raising an objection? Only to crush it in disgust. Pray forgive the discourtesy. You didn't even drink from it. You're not fooling anyone, Van Zieks. Lord Van Zieks? This guy's lost his mind. It seems I must retract my earlier remark and insult the jury again. What do you mean? I mistakenly credited these jurors with intelligence by describing them as insightful. Yet we have just witnessed them falling for a cheap trick performed by an Eastern entertainer. Hey!
Whatever do you mean?
Objection.
I haven't tricked anyone. Everything I've said is the truth. Well, it's conjecture, but it's a possibility. Indeed, stalwart juror number 5 was undoubtedly repairing the road, as he claims. I believe you said it was a good 2 yards of the pavement which you had excavated, sir. That's right, it took me the whole day and they paid me measly 2pence for it. Now, my learned Nipponese friend, tell me. Do you have any notion of the distance that 2 yards represents?
Well, if I'm honest, I don't have a clue, no.
Me either, man.
2 yards is a little less than 2 meters. Less than 2 meters? That's not much at all.
In other words, a distance readily vaulted by anyone of moderate vigor. Would you not agree, my stalwart friend? I argue that, Natsumi would have remembered vaulting over. Like, if he was stumbling around blindly, he would have fallen in. Like, so, he would have remembered jumping over something, you would think. Me? Well, I can't say you're wrong, no. What? And did you perchance erect a sign to prevent pedestrians from passing the site of your works? I wouldn't dream of it. What a waste of time. No coaches would have had hopes of passing anyway, and we just turn any gentlefolk back when they come. Kids just jump right over us all the time. The accused is no gentleman as far as I can see. Okay. I have little doubt, however, that he could spring over a 2-yard trench in his meanderings around town.
Ah! Is that true, is it?
The incontrovertible truth is that the books just purchased by the accused were found at the scene. There can be no doubt that on his way back to his lodgings, Mr. Natsumi walked down Briar Road. It's a good point. We spent a lot of time arguing for him to wait to bring that up until now. But yeah, he does have a point.
Crushed in a single sentence.
And, old man.
What?
Cold, man. You can talk.
You say that around 5 o'clock on the day in question you slipped and fell on Calabash Road. Pray, was there suspicious-looking Nipponese behind you at the time?
Was he looking behind him? Like,
Oh, I can't say as I remember.
You don't remember? He did slip and hit his head. That can wipe a couple minutes of memory. How about a wager, my learned friend? You say it was this old man that the accused saw. But I would lay 1,000 to 1 against you being able to prove it. Okay, prove to me that it was her then, asshole. Like, the burden of proof lies on the prosecution, not the defense.
Order! Order! Lord Van Zieks, explain yourself.
My lord?
If you had such a trenchant argument up your sleeve, why in the world did you not proffer it during the summonation examination?
I wanted to give this young foreign student the sightseeing experience he no doubt came for. And also, I've already stated that I am legally not allowed to speak during it. Judge, did you forget that? I wanted him to see for himself how the opinion of the jury is so readily swayed. As if he didn't, see that literally the day before yesterday. But my hospitality has its limits, and they have been reached, I feel. I think they were reached a long time ago. Oh, yep, here we go. So, my learned friend, today's sightseeing tour of London is now over. What are you talking about, man? Have you lost it? My lord! The prosecution requests permission to call its next witnesses to the stand.
Granted. Bailiff, bring forth the witnesses before the Reaper hurts me. I'm scared.
It's next witnesses. What do you mean? Mr. Naruto, do you not remember? We've been told on several occasions that there were eyewitnesses to the incident, idiot.
Yes, I remember, one of them being a Scotland Yard policeman, no less.
I'm afraid that's likely to be the prosecution's next witness. But hey, the fact that he didn't want to bring them out is a good sign, because that means that, they are not the ideal witness, considering he wanted the detective to talk in place of them. Alright, no matter who Van Zieks brings to the stand as his witness, no matter what they say, I believe in Soseki-san. I know he's innocent. And I'll keep believing to the very end, until this battle is over. Is that it to be continued? No. My god, look at them. Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court. This poor dude. They look like twins. Okay. Constable Riley Beat, sir. Nothing to report on the street, sir. Oh no.
And I'm Miss Beat. Patricia's my name. I'm proud to say I'm this young town hero's wife.
What a hero. Truly. What's the story here?
Well, in truth, we've not been married long. In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day.
No, it was your husband I was asking about. He seems tired. Hardly surprising. Whilst being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beach is the most demanding work in the world. Oh, really? I'm sure I've heard that before, actually. So they're really abusing their workers.
Indeed, apart from rare days off, our gallant officers trudge some 20 miles a day, you know. They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collect taxes, survey the streets, check the meters are reading true. And they're responsible for keeping the streets clean, and lighting and extinguishing our street lights.
Some of that just sounds like it should be city maintenance more than, the beat. Scotland Yard.
There are a number of items on that list that don't sound much like policing duties at all.
I wouldn't just be falling asleep on my feet. I'd have collapsed long ago. I think most people would. But it goes without saying that a policeman's primary duty is the apprehension of criminals. Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes on his beat. So he's expected to be at his beat? Or just if he's there? From the London Bobby is a man of honor. Oh, for the London Bobby is a man of honor. Okay. Good on you. I'm, like, he is good for respecting people who are, quote, unquote, lower than him, right? Because you would think that he would be conceited. But, like, it's amazing he actually has respect for these people. You would think that he would have his head in the clouds. And a man of slumber. What is that supposed to mean? On the day in question. My question, Van Zieks. How is he supposed to perform his duty if he cannot stay awake physically? How is that supposed to work? Riddle me that. I want you to riddle me that, Van Zieks. On the day in question, part 2, I read it a second time. This man and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction. I thought he said in opposite directions, and I was like, that's weird. That's weird. And they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Beat?
That's right, sir. Isn't it, Raleigh?
Yeah, sure. Constable Raleigh Beat, sir. Nothing to report on the street, sir. What a great witness he's going to be.
Very good. I'd like to hear your formal testimonies now, please. You will tell the court exactly what you saw on the afternoon of the incident.
Yes,
If he can. Oh my gosh. Can we get him a chair? So he doesn't bust his head open? Wait, that's what the helmet's for, isn't it? That's so sad. Alright. I'm dreading their testimony.
It was our wedding anniversary and Rolly was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor. Then the other scattered something before running off. We ran straight over, of course, and then we went for help at a nearby police box. It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Riley and I both saw him as clear as day. That's why he didn't testify at all.
Get him a chair.
Well, this is extremely compelling testimony, I must say. Except the policeman didn't testify to shit.
Oh dear. This policeman's wife is claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsumi at the scene. If that testimony is true, the alternative course of events that you established in the submission examination will be quashed. It's death knell, in fact. Because that alternative was never viable in the first place.
What an unfortunate bechancing. And on your wedding anniversary, too.
Oh, I know, but I still managed to go out for the evening with my man. I thank the Lord for that.
Gosh, the life of a London Bobby sounds very hard indeed.
Indeed. However, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may well have time to rest this afternoon, so you can perform your duties tomorrow. What do you mean by that? My learned friend, the witness saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. I doubt that the other one had his eyes open for long enough to see a face of anyone. They are testifying under oath that it was without a doubt the accused, Mr. Sosaki Natsum. Trying to make him say it a different way every time. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less. And he's not the one giving the testimony, it's his wife. So you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure. Except that the man's so tired his wife has to do all the talking. Exactly. No, Ryunosuke, don't think that. Say it out loud. Say it loud and proud.
Enough preamble, counsel. Oh, enough preamble. Counsel for the defense. Commence the cross-examination, please.
Yes, my lord. I don't wanna. Do I have to? Oh, I have to press. I don't want to press everything. Fine. No time to change after work, you say? Are you also a member of the police, Miss Beat?
Oh no, sadly not. It's a job for strapping young men only. Women, children, and the elderly can't even apply.
Which, if you let women... Like, you could let women change the, like, lights and shit. If you're allowing, or in 1900 London, women to be on the jury, surely you would allow them to clean up the streets and change some lamps, you know? You would think that that would be a job that they would prefer that women do, because the men have better things to do, quote unquote. But, nope, they're picky. They're so picky that, none of the beat can perform their job properly because they're all overworked to literal exhaustion. Okay, anyway. Well, I think you can probably see why children and the elderly can't do the job, can't you?
I think Rolly looks ever so handsome in his uniform. It suits you down the ground, doesn't it, darling?
He does not hear you.
Stop it. That's mean.
Huh? What? Oh, I just finished my beat.
Nope, that's not what we asked.
That night I led him back to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there.
Is he talking in his sleep? This is creepy.
Oh no, Rolly, I much prefer you in uniform.
Do you like the idea of a guy in uniform more than Raleigh? This is weird.
Sometimes I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes.
That just shows how often he is at home. Wow, that's so sad.
Oh dear, that doesn't seem healthy.
Yeah. Kindly adhere to the point. He literally said get to the point. Oh, that's beautiful. You were going for a meal after you had finished your beat for the day, correct?
That's right, sir, yes. Although I was fit to drop, to be honest, after spending the day on my feet. But at least it's my life, sir. As long as I'm the proud owner of this, I'll serve my country and my queen to the end. What's that now? My warrant card, sir. Proof that I'm a London copper. Has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty. Because we really need it, because we're so tired we can't remember. To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. Sir, and for such a noble cause I cover 20 miles every single day without fail or without a grumble. Because I know that the plodding of my boots is all Londoners need to feel safe and secure.
So, fighting crime doesn't appear to come into it then.
But sir, just on that one particular day I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Miss Bate pulls up with a lot being married to a bobby like me. I want to show my dear wife how much I care. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Raleigh. Oh, what a charming couple. Their young love is such a joy to behold.
Is it a joy? If a little over the top, perhaps? And then, kindly describe what happened next. Get to the point. Kindly adhere to the point. I'm gonna start saying that. Kindly adhere to the point. Two silhouettes.
That's right. They were coming towards us, walking up Briar Road in the opposite direction.
Oh, we get a drawing. That person is way too tall to be Natsumi.
There was a rather plump figure, followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man.
He's too tall.
That does sound exactly like the victim as pictured in this print, and like Mr. Natsumi.
Yes, unfortunately it does. And you're certain that at that time there was nobody else nearby?
Oh yes, quite certain. It was dark, but there are streetlights on Briar Road, you see. There was nobody else around at all. Isn't that right, my darling?
Yeah, that's right. Of course there was a light fog on the ground. But Briar Road is dead straight and you could see a fairly long way down the pavement. And then there's a street light as well. I didn't see any other pedestrians.
Before sleep takes a firm hold, your answer please, quickly. Mr. Beat, are you quite sure of what you've just said? Do I need to come over there and grab you by the shoulders and shake you?
Yes, sir. As a cop who spends all day every day keeping watch on the streets, I'll swear to it, sir.
I hope so, 'cause you're on oath.
I'm sure it's my love for Patricia's true. I'm cheating on her. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Raleigh!
They're still maintaining there was no one else around other than the victim and the attacker. It's starting to seem like that must be how it really happened.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Why? Why did my brain do that? It's February in the game. Why did my brain do...
It's beginning to seem like there's nowhere to run.
Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsumi, did it? Okay, that's a good one. He fled the scene all too convincingly. Thank you. I believe we have a reasonably clear idea of the situation just before the incident now. What happened in the crucial moments that followed? I have to breathe so much for him. Which one? Scattered something? What do you mean by that?
Oh, well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time. But then when we got closer, we realized what it was.
Didn't we, darling?
This poor man.
Yes, that's right. Some old books.
I see. Old books.
Yes, sir. Coverage dropped a number of them all around where the victim lay on the pavement.
Indeed, as clearly pictured in this photographic print.
That rotten Japanese man did that. Did that when he did the deed.
She got a different type of British accent for a second. Let's not forget that it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker.
But we saw him. It was a man in the dock without question, sir.
Oh my gosh.
The moustache, lunched back, the cat-like eyes, the top mouth, still knows everything.
Any more insults you want to throw in? I mean, really.
That's right. He looked down at that poor defenseless woman with those terrifying intense eyes, and then suddenly threw his books onto the pavement and ran away.
After he stabbed her, is what you're claiming then. I see. This is tough. They seem as though they're telling the truth here.
May I remind the court that this unambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife. I know it is hard to tell, and it is hard to hear him. Okay, now please, continue. Yes, sir!
Poor guy. Was it your husband who went to fetch help?
No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I'm the proud wife of one after all. Isn't that right, my darling?
Oh, yes, that's right. I asked Miss Beat to go. I was off duty by that point. But Bobby's never truly off duty, of course, so I felt obliged to stay and guard the scene.
Very laudable, Mr. Beat. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance. However, I worry that you fell asleep and someone tampered with it.
I mean, really.
That's why I sent Patricia, you see. I told her where to find the right police box.
Forgive my ignorance, but what do you mean exactly by the right police box?
Depends on a crime scene's location, you see, as to who deals with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't actually on my beat. So I told Patricia the way to the police box for the beat the incident fell under so she could go and report.
Oh, no.
I ran there as quickly as I could and asked for help from the Bobby on duty. There's nothing more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know.
Same thing. And thanks to your swift response, the case was quickly resolved. The actions of two model citizens, right here, ladies and gentlemen and gentlefolk.
Oh, please, you're making us blush.
Are you trying to flirt?
Isn't he, darling?
Yes, sir. What Patricia said, sir.
I mean, he is blushing. Let's move on, shall we? But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the gas street lamps, would you?
Oh!
We absolutely could! Us Londoners have exceptional eyesight, I'll have you know.
Stop it!
Right.
The light from the street lamps was more than enough. And my husband already told you that the fog was light, didn't he?
Yes. And can you stop shaking your husband around like a rag doll? Yes, and what of the fog?
We're famous for it across the globe, I believe. But it's an absolute menace to those of us who have to live with it, of course.
Oh, it is. When it's thick, you can't even see the hand at the end of your own arm.
Yes, all right. I take your point. Now, could you stop shaking your husband about? That's what I said.
The constant fog makes our eyes very sharp, you see.
What? Wouldn't that do the opposite?
That's why we can tell you for sure and certain that it was the Japanese man we saw. Can't we, darling?
Huh? Yes. What? Yes. The accused, and no mistake. Mustache, hunchback, cat-like eyes, two mouths, unmistakable, sir. As far as this couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. It was Soseki-san they saw running away from the scene of the crime. So that's it, is it? That's their entire testimony.
What do you think, Mr. Naruto?
Well, I hate to admit it, but on hearing the testimony, it really does seem as though Mr. and Miss Beach saw what they saw. Saw what they say they saw. Gosh. Mr. Natsumi running away from the scene on Briar Road that day.
Yes, I feel the same.
So if that's true, where does it leave us?
The members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony.
Oh no! Then what do we do? Oh my gosh, if Kazuma-sama were here, he would know what to do. She's just grumbling.
If only Kazuma-sama were here, he would know what to do.
That's so evil. What are you trying to say?
I think he would try to find a contradiction somewhere else within their testimony.
What do you mean, somewhere else?
This statement about seeing Mr. Natsumi is unequivocal. Calling that...
Oh my goodness. Okay, excuse me.
Calling that into question won't help. But if you could identify some other part of their testimony which appears to contradict the facts, you might be able to discredit them, to make the jury doubt if the pair's memory of the day is accurate.
Oh, right.
Put simply, we must focus on finding a discrepancy in these statements somewhere. If we don't, I'm afraid the trial may reach an early and unfavorable conclusion.
Why do I always seem to be so up against it? Because you're not given any time to prepare, whereas the prosecution is.
Mr. Lawyer, sir, can I ask you something?
Oh, yes, of course. What is it?
Are you single? Well, you keep asking us all of these questions about everything we've told you, so... It seems like you don't believe our testimony. Is that right? Is it? Well, out with it.
God. What? No. Oh, no, it's really not that at all.
My husband's a policeman, remember? And I know what I saw. I remember every last detail. Everything. Oh, I know. What about the books the man dropped? I could tell you the names of every single one I could. Every single one. And you dare to question how reliable my testimony is?
My God.
That will do, Miss B.
No, it won't do at all. That Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of.
Excuse me?
Even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, don't think for a minute that Raleigh will.
Raleigh doesn't know what's going on. I really didn't mean to cause offense. Please, put your husband's fists down.
Perhaps you would like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Miss Beat?
I really don't know what you want with that. Might that appease you?
Oh, thank you, my lord. That would settle things nicely.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense. That's just the game being a little bit weird with its writing.
Wouldn't it, darling?
Oh no, we didn't even hear her. No. I could even tell you the names. Okay, then do it. Yes, we know that there were books dropped at the scene of the crime, as you say. Those purchased by the accused at the nearby second-hand bookshop on the day in question.
After I'd been to the police box for help, I decided to have a good look over the area for good measure. I am a proud policeman's wife, after all. I did it for Raleigh.
And what was your husband doing at the time? Taking a nap?
Oh, he was lying face down in the snow.
You're kidding me.
getting some well-deserved rest. He works ever so hard, you know, ever so hard, don't you, my darling? And that's why I was forcing you to take me to dinner, even though you were exhausted.
Interesting way of guarding the scene of the crime. Ineffective way of guarding the scene of the crime, I would say.
Well, Miss Beat, seeing as you've regaled the court with tales of your powers of recollection, would you be so kind as to recount the titles of the books you observed at the scene?
I'd be happy to. Now, are you all listening? There was the picture of Monsieur somebody or other, and what's it, yearnings? Then there was, a meal for someone. The last one was definitely the thingamy something. You see?
Yep, word for word. Yes, I see there are 1 or 2 holes in your memory.
Oh, well, they were along those lines, I'm quite sure.
There were indeed books found at the scene with titles along those lines, as you put it.
Well, what did I tell you? So I think it's very mean the way you've been implying that my testimony can't be trusted. Don't you agree, darling?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Anyone sets my Patricia have to have me dance too.
I'm not even gonna correct it. I think that that's in character. Take that firearm away from him. Take it away. Terrifying. I agree, Zieks. That was horrifying. Yes, she really is. I think he should not have a weapon. So that's it, is it? That's the entire testimony? What do you think, Mr. Naruto? Stop asking me that! So now she's got the books. I could tell you the names of the 4 books, but weren't there 3 books that were dropped at the scene? Yeah. There are only 3. In frame, at least.
Objection.
So, you're saying that there were 4 books?
That's right, I remember all of them. The picture of Monsieur somebody, what's it yearnings, a meal for someone, and the thingamy something.
I'm sorry, Miss Beat. But there's a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours.
Oh no! What flaw?
Simply that, at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4.
What?
Have a good look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime. Longest way to say look at this photograph. As you can clearly see, there are only 3 books in frame.
But no, that can't be. I saw them. Oh, I know what it is. Yes, you can't fool me.
Sorry?
It's that big old lump of a dead body.
She's not dead, and that's evil.
The lady so large her corpse is blocking the view of the 4th book, that's all.
Let's at least try to remember that the poor woman isn't dead, even if we're insulting her size. I don't think we should be insulting her size. At all. No, I'm sorry, Miss Beat. But Mr. Natsumi could not possibly have dropped the 4 books you describe.
Why not?
Fascinating. He only bought 3. And from your assured tone, something you can readily substantiate with evidence, I presume? Ah, evidence.
Counsel, you'll present evidence to substantiate your claim or withdraw it. What proof do you have that the accused did not drop 4 books?
Yeah, it's right here. The evidence is right here, in the form of this bookshop receipt.
From your books?
From your books. Yes, this receipt details Mr. Natsumi's purchases that day. But as you can see, only 3 books are listed.
No.
Therefore, Mr. Natsumi would have only dropped 3 books at the scene of the crime. Which means that your powers of observation, madam, cannot be relied upon. No, I think that it's odd that she distinctly remembers a fourth book. So it cannot be denied that though you say it was the defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken.
No!
I looked away.
Objection!
I looked away. Oh no. I thought he was gonna do another one of his objections. Or his, cool objections. I'm mad. It's plainly evident that it is your powers of deduction that cannot be relied upon, my learned Nipponese friend. But I took lessons from the great Sherlock Sholmes. What? Well, what cannot be denied is that these two witnesses saw the accused running from the scene. A fact that you know very well you have no hope of disproving. Ah! So you've striven to avert attention from that by dint of some inconsequential discrepancies. Would that be fair? He sees right through me. But your plan has somewhat recoiled against you. What are you talking about? It's quite simple. Let me explain with a toast. Even though you don't have any drink, I'm the only one that gets any. To the policeman's wife and her entirely accurate testimony in every respect.
Oh!
You see, the matter is not up for debate. At the scene on Briar Road, a total of 4 books were most definitely found. Why weren't we told? But what about the photo? But what about the photo? But what about the photographic print? It only shows 3 books from that ass angle. Quite right. Only 3 can be seen in that print. That print? You mean to say... Okay. Allow me to present another. One that shows the victim's hand. Oh my god. Who... I don't believe it. It's the 4th book. As you will observe. The 4th book was hidden from view in the original print by the victim's torso. No. No! And they're playing Van Zieks' theme song. Thanks for that. It's very necessary.
Order! Order!
There! You see? You see? Look at that! Look!
Yes, I see.
It's just like I said. Isn't it, my darling?
I hate her so much.
Yes, sir. Patricia's always right, sir.
Oh, I'm so tired, sir. Can I go home, sir? Let us study the receipt for the books purchased by the accused on the day in question. Miss Beat, the titles once again, if you please.
Oh, yes, of course. The picture of Monsieur somebody or other.
The picture of Monsieur Lecoq.
What's it, yearnings?
Canterbury yearnings.
A meal for someone?
A meal for Gaboy, in fact. I don't know how to pronounce that. Gabaroo, in fact. He doesn't... I like to think that it's canon that he doesn't know how to pronounce it either. As the court has just heard. You skipped the 4th one. Objection. Do I still have it in history? Damn it, I don't. Okay, but like, that's not... That wasn't anywhere close to the Lion's Pride. Which, if we remember from the whole debacle with Sholmes yesterday, might be of significance. I don't know. As the court has just heard, the witness remembers the book titles flawlessly, save for a few minor details, because I cut her off before she could give the 4th one. Miss Beat's powers of recollection can only be described as exceptional. I caught that, then, Zieks.
Did you hear that, Raleigh? The gentleman paid me a compliment. Are you jealous?
Yes, sir. Flawless, sir. Patricia's flawless. But there are only 3 books on the receipt, and Miss Beat mentioned 4. Yeah.
There's nothing surprising about that. Clearly the 4th book is that which is shown in this photographic print.
I'm sorry, Counsel, but does that not seem odd? Why should the 4th book be omitted from the receipt?
It's not his, dipshit. It's not odd at all, my lord. As the photograph clearly shows, the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, it belongs to the victim. This burned Lion's Pride book. What a coincidence. The victim was holding her own book? That's preposterous!
I wonder, what became of that 4th book?
Hell if I know. Obviously it wasn't overlooked by the investigating officers at Scotland Yard. However, it's probably, I don't know, in a hospital room because it wasn't deemed as, you know, evidence. Oh, nope, I have it here as evidence. Which, to be fair, that would be evidence. Anything there would be evidence. But, you know, in this time period, they may not know that yet. Because, you know, they couldn't do fingerprints or anything. Sorry, his theme song slaps. I can't help it.
You will submit that in the aforementioned photographic print to the court, please, Counsel.
My pleasure, my lord. Alright. Thank you for withholding it for all of this time, for no reason. And thank you for bowing the whole time the bailiff has to walk over to your desk and take it off because you won't even stand up and hand it to him. The prosecution rests, and so does the witness. I have nothing further to add. Dang, he's confident. What? You seem surprised, my learned friend. But your resistance until now has been in vain. Entertaining, yes, but futile. The spurious longer route to the accused lodgings that you tried to establish in your examination, and the attempted discrediting of the witness's powers of recollection in your cross-examination. Futile? I walked right into this, didn't I?
You see, everything we've said is true. Isn't that right, my darling?
Yes, Pat. Marry me, Pat.
Oh my god. This guy.
Oh my, okay. So, perhaps the ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions? Should the court waste any more time on this Nipponese travesty? My gosh. Or is the decision you have to make all too apparent already? You have heard all of the witnesses and seen all of the evidence. This trial has run its course.
Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid we are in a terribly precarious position.
I noticed.
I know, but if I fight back in the wrong way now, I could very well just make matters worse.
Think, Rinosuke, think. What do you do now? Wait and see. Obviously, it's gonna end. You can't just wait and see. We're raising an objection.
Objection.
I'm not done yet. No, my learned friend. It's over. That last cross-examination was your final chance to establish a credible defense, and you failed. The die has been cast. There's no more room for debate. Well, it might be over as far as you're concerned, but...
I can't think of what to say. If I may,
Sorry. If I may, Lord Van Zieks. It seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point.
Huh. Your insignificant little Eastern Isle must be a lawless hole indeed.
Shut up!
For a lowly judicial assistant to have the audacity to intervene at a moment like this.
Okay. Oh. Oh no, it made her sad. I thought she was gonna get mad. Oh no. Oh.
Don't insult my judicial assistant like that. She'll give you a Susato takedown. You don't want a Susato takedown. I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer. So you'll have to forgive me, but I consider my assistant's advice essential and her opinions invaluable.
Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, that is kind of her job. One of this land's great guiding principles is tolerance. Even though I have allowed the prosecution and many of the jurors and witnesses to be racist this entire time, and I myself have been racist a couple of times. So the court will hear you, madam.
Go ahead, Mrs. Otto. Please. I can't do it. Very well. Pray, what insight can you give us? What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue further?
Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finished.
I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you?
Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think? It's just possible that this new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been waiting for. The judge is sure to ask the members of the jury to announce their leanings in a moment. And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain what the crucial piece of evidence is and why.
In other words, you're telling me to look at the book. It's burnt. You could kind of tell in the picture anyway that something was wrong with it.
Oh, look at this! The book has been badly burnt.
You're right. You'd never be able to read it in this state, especially not the latter pages.
What a terrible waste. Judging from the scorched edges of the paper, I think the damage must have occurred very recently.
Okay. There is literally no information about this. I wish I could contact my old forensics teacher and be like, yo, is this bullshit? Because I think this is bullshit. I don't think this is possible. I don't think that you can tell this. A book. Recently damaged by fire. Why does that seem to raise a red flag with me?
So we must take this opportunity to examine the newly presented evidence as thoroughly as possible.
Already one step ahead of you. Yes, I understand, and thank you, Miss Susato. This is it. Susato-san has managed to win us one last chance here. I can't let it go to waste. I love that, like, okay. If you played the original Ace Attorney, then you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, I don't really think it's a spoiler, but, like, all of the assistants are underage girls. They're always underage girls. Takumi's kind of a creep for that. But, whenever they don't know shit about law. And whenever they interrupt court, it's never a valid interruption, usually. Like, it's not insightful. It's, I said this thing so that you could talk. I yelled, screw you, prosecutor. I yelled, screw you, witness, and I got a response out of the witness that made questioning, it made it crucial. Further questioning crucial. So, it's very nice to see that they have developed with their writing to actually make the assistant a meaningful character and not a funny sidekick. Because she does serve as that sometimes, but she can also serve as a helpful assistant in plot and shit. So that's good. I like to see it. Okay, that's all. Can't let it go to waste. The defense wishes to present evidence, my lord. Oh, he's so mad. He's so mad. Very
well. Sorry, do you like my Van Zieks impression? The defense may present one further piece of evidence. Evidence that apparently offers a profound insight into this case and has hitherto been overlooked because the prosecution was withholding it.
Okay.
Take that!
The evidence in question is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print of the crime scene. I presented the book. The fourth book, found in the victim's hand.
Objection!
We have already discussed the fourth book at length. Other than it being in the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. Oh ho ho, but just you wait, Lord Van Zieks. I've got some significance to attach to it. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know. Ah!
Yeah, I agree. I'm afraid, counsel, I must concur with the prosecution on this matter. When I afforded you this opportunity,
What?
you led the court to believe that the evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. So I must insist that you elaborate.
Oh, I thought I got it wrong for a second. I was like, you're kidding me.
You will identify this clue at once. Do I make myself clear?
Oh, yes, my lord. It's,
Mr. Naruhodo, I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid a thorough examination of the evidence, which means you may very well be on the right track.
yes, I think you might be right.
So, counsel, precisely where is the vital clue to this case, which this fourth book conceals?
Alright.
Got it!
I would ask the court to observe the back of the book in question.
The back? What do you... Good gracious! It's been burnt to a crisp.
So we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It is undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for her to have been doing.
Objection!
Unnatural, you say. And what of it, my Nipponese friend? Oh. Why to concede the point? If it bears no relation to the case, there is nothing to discuss. So, should you wish to assert that this fire damage is some veiled clue as to what happened that day? Pray, do enlighten us all. What truth does this charred book hide? A charred book. There's just one possibility here, which I can't quite bring myself to rule out. It's an outside chance, certainly, but worth a try. Alright, I'll explain my theory.
Don't keep us waiting any longer then, counsel. Explain this theory of yours.
I know, I've been going for like 2.5 hours. I'm so tired, but like, it's almost at the end. Okay.
What are you suggesting that you can ascertain from the fire damage this sorry tome has suffered?
Its owner. Actually, I've never done a joke answer here, even though I'm exhausted and I want to stop recording. I've never done a joke answer here. We'll do its content. My lord, the burn on the back of this book reveals a startling truth about the book's content.
What on earth do you mean?
To have enraged its reader to the point of burning it, we can be quite sure that this book is a dreadful read.
Indeed.
That's right, a dreadful read.
A valid conclusion. Oh good, everyone seems to agree. Maybe I'm onto something here.
If I may, Mr. Naruhodo, I most certainly cannot agree.
No, you're right. She gives us the penalty. Oh my god. I love that Van Zieks said, I agree. Van Zieks doesn't like this book. Confirmed. The shop that sold it. It must have been burned down. My lord, the burn on the back of this book reveals a startling truth about the shop from which it was purchased.
What on earth do you mean?
To have sold a half-burnt and unreadable book such as this, we can be quite sure the establishment it came from is a terrible bookshop.
Indeed.
That's right. A terrible one.
A valid conclusion. It's gonna give the same... Oh, good, everyone seems to agree. Okay, it gives the same dialogue. It's kind of clever, though. They wrote it so it could be reused. That's fair. My lord, the burn on the back of this book reveals a startling truth about the book's owner.
I beg your pardon?
But we already know who the book belongs to. The victim was gripping it in her hand as she fell to the floor after all. It's obviously hers.
The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hand is yet to be answered. However, as to the question of who the book really belongs to and where it originated, the defense has very credible answers.
Good gracious, how can you possibly?
Very well. I'll play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. But do remember, the members of the jury may well burn you if your little gamble goes awry. This isn't a gamble, I know what I'm talking about.
Counsel, the defense's response here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. So tell the court, who do you claim is the owner of the burnt book?
I'm not even gonna do a joke answer here.
Take that!
The answer is that the book belongs to the couple who owns the house where the defendant has his lodgings. A certain Mr. and Mrs. Garridib. Oh, is that the first time we've gotten that one? I think it is. The landlords? And whether this is some extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fate at work, I don't know, but... Of all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for jury duty in this courtroom today is none other than Miss Garridib herself.
Oh my goodness me. I think you must be mistaken, sir. I'm not Mr. Garridib's wife. I'm his maid.
Things would be so much easier if you would just drop the pretense. Alright then, how about a simple question for you? Have you ever seen this book in Mr. Garridib's house?
I would never presume to know all of the books he keeps, sir.
This is outlandish behavior. This woman is the accused landlady, you say. You implicate this hard-working member of the public. You besmirch her without a shred of evidence. What are you talking about? Your actions are unforgivable.
What?
Objection!
This is not mere conjecture. The defense happens to know that on the day in question, at almost exactly the same time as the victim was stabbed on the pavement below, another incident was taking place in the room on the top floor of Mr. and Miss Garridib's house.
Good lord! What sort of incident, counsel?
Okay, I'm gonna say it out loud. They make light of the whole marital dispute again. I don't think it's as bad as it was before because, you know, they're not depicting it, but it's here. So warning. I don't know if I'll even be able to put a timestamp or not because it's gonna be here for a while. Yeah. A fire, my lord. We remember.
I'd say it was. Happened in the blink of an eye, you know. Whole place filled with smoke.
I'm only saying it just so I can remember what he sounded like.
Book called Lion's Pride.
Yep. Oh, the Lion's Pride.
By Jove, the very same title that's the subject of this debate.
Oh dear me.
Objection!
This is risible. All you've told the court is that a book by the same name was involved in a fire, in which case it would be reasonable to assume that it was burnt to ashes, and entirely unreasonable to infer that it magically removed itself from the scene of the crime, to the scene of the crime, from one crime scene to another. Perhaps it would make more sense if I told you that the cause of the fire was marital discord. Without going into details, it appears that Miss Garrett was considerably enraged. Apparently she continued to attack Mr. Garrett even amid the flames.
Oh, how awful! I can't even imagine being so horrid to the one you love.
You...
Can you, Rolly?
Absolutely not, sir. My Patricia would never raise a finger against me, sir.
This poor guy. Wife started hurling things at me. I was under heavy enemy fire. Yeah, okay, so she threw a book at him.
The man had his back up against the window and he had burning books thrown at him. Goodness gracious! Are you suggesting that the book was thrown through a window and landed coincidentally at the scene of the crime?
I don't know, man. No. A thorough investigation of the surrounding area was conducted the very evening of the incident, and there's no report of the Garretib's window pane being broken. It was open. It's quite true, we also saw no signs of broken glass when we visited the Garretib household. But is it not conceivable that the window was open at the time and not even remotely? There was a fire! They opened the window because there was a fire. Let us not forget the season and the chilling weather that accompanies it. Let us not forget the fire in the Garretib's house. No Londoner would ever leave a window open in the middle of winter. Ah, you're so stupid.
Yeah, you're right. Does the defense postulate this scenario in all serious, counsel? Do you honestly claim that the book found at the scene was a flaming projectile thrown by Mr. Garretib's wife?
Just the wording. I believe it's a possibility, my lord. That's quite enough. It's probably her. Yeah, it's her.
Well, I hope that everyone can see you for what you are now, you little foreign trickster. You call yourself a lawyer, but you're just a coward, a mean coward.
Really?
Claiming that our little tiff set the whole neighborhood alight, honestly. Implying that I'm merely posing as a maid for appearance sake. How could you?
I never said that.
It's nothing to do with this beastly case, not any of it. All you've done is sully our family's name.
No, I assure you that was never my intention.
Dragging up an upstanding citizen's name through the mud simply to divert attention from your failing defense. Oh no! That's horrible! I should box your ears, that's what I should do. It's utterly unforgivable.
Too right. Here we go. How long have we sat here now listening to this Nipponese spouting out his fancy foreign theories? But, think about it. At the time of the day, the only person who could possibly have stabbed the victim is that little hunchback with the mustache, and he ran away from the scene, too.
I do declare you're right. I wish we would just be over. It's true. Yes, what did I tell you?
Makes sense to me. I want to go home. Me too.
Sorry, what's that?
Oh my god.
Well, it would appear that the ladies and gentlemen of the jury are once again in full agreement. What is your position, Lord Van Zieks?
Make it end. In truth, my lord, I feel these have been unnecessarily protracted proceedings. But then one must always exercise patience in order to savor the best wine. Vintage wine. Yeah. No, wait. The mystery of the fourth book still hasn't been... If books are your predilection, my learned friend, study them on your own time. That's not what I meant at all, you idiot. What? No forgive the discourtesy this time?
In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will now state your individual decisions regarding the defendant's culpability for the court to hear.
Guilty.
of course.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
There's no way. I have another. Yep.
Thank you for that unambiguous response.
That's twice now. It's over. Mr. Naruto, don't give up. Mrs. Otto, have you forgotten? The battle isn't over yet. You're not suggesting. Of course. The defense has the right to another summation examination at this point. You could still convince the jurors to change their minds. You have one more chance. My lord, the defense asks to exercise its right to a summation examination. Huh. You believe you still have tricks up your sleeve. I don't intend to trick anybody. I intend to uncover the truth. This is no time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined. They really do a fade to black here? They do. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. Once again, this is probably going to be 2 separate videos. They're probably both going to be pretty damn long. So, sorry. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like and maybe a subscribe, please. It helps me a lot with the algorithm and stuff. And yeah, thank you. I'll see you next time.